Hi everyone, I'm Colleen with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Saint David, often referred to as David of Wales, is a saint whose life is still a bit shrouded in mystery. There are many stories about his great deeds, but not so many about his personal life. Even the exact date of his birth remains uncertain today, though his death is widely believed to have happened in the year 589. Saint David was, perhaps above all, a man of great patience and humility. In the first 10 years he spent with his teacher, Paulinus, he never once considered himself worthy enough to even look upon the man's face. When Paulinus' eyes began to fail, causing him great pain, he asked David to simply touch them, expecting that he would be healed. Sure enough, Paulinus was right, and his sight returned to him instantly. This was one of many miracles David performed, which included summoning a fountain of water from the earth, eating poisoned bread and suffering no harm, and even bringing back a child from the dead. Following his education, David went on to preach widely, and he founded many monasteries, but not without opposition. An Irish chieftain and druid opposed him multiple times, but all his attempts to stop David were utterly foiled. When he sent a mob of men to kill David, they suddenly became ill with fever and could barely lift their weapons. When he commanded a group of women to seduce David and those with him, the saint urged his followers not to run away, citing the many difficulties faced by the Israelites on their journey to the Promised Land. David basically said to his people, they struggled and emerged victorious after all those trials. Now it's our turn. Obviously, David did not shy away from difficulty. This may have been in part because he understood that hard work was an essential element of a healthy spiritual life. He believed that keeping oneself busy with challenging and purposeful work was the best way to avoid restlessness and apathy. He decreed that monks should labor every day for this purpose, doing a common man's work with their hands and providing for themselves and for others. Of course, it can be seriously difficult to maintain this kind of attitude in the modern day. We want to be focused and purposeful, but there are distractions everywhere we look. We want to be patient and long-suffering, but we live in a world where everything has been made faster and more convenient. Unlike the monks of St. David's time, most of us don't have fields to plow or crops to harvest, but we can still try to improve our outlook. When we're tired or frustrated, we can take a moment to give thanks for the work we have and continue to put forward our best effort. On his deathbed, David said to those gathered around him, "Be constant. The yoke which with single mind you have taken, bear to the end." Knowing how much his death would grieve them, his parting words urged them to continue their work in spite of how discouraged they might be. He knew that if they could carry on even without him, they would be a force for good in the world. And being a force for good, even in the smallest ways, is something we can all do if we put our minds to it. St. David of Wales, help us to be steadfast in our work and in our faith. Pray for us.
Thank you for tuning in to Awaken the Saint. Awaken the Saint is made in partnership by Spoke Street Media and Awaken Catholic.